So here's another issue. Okay. Now look at the shiplap, or whatever you would call this type of wood here. Now look at the image. It's over the wood. This is a decal. Now I put a drop of alcohol here and it dissolved a bit, and I kind of scratched at that. So if I paint over this, this is not going to take the same. Matter of fact, when I rub my finger over, it's quite different, and this whole rectangle is going to be there. So I need to get rid of this. So I'm going to have to soak this in alcohol until it lifts, and then maybe even use a toothbrush to help get this gone, because I want this here, and it just ain't there. You can see what's below it, but it's just not. So more work to do. Okay. Okie dokie. We've had some progress here. From the research I did, this pad printing is surprisingly resilient. I thought it was a water decal. Water did not lift it. Alcohol, isopropyl, not whiskey, did not lift it. White fuel did not lift it, although it penetrated it a bit. So I took 400 grit sandpaper just to break the surface. Then I let white fuel just kind of sit on it. I didn't want to use anything like acetone because that would start dissolving the plastic. Then I went over this with, I don't know, about 1,000 grit. From what I can tell, you know, what you see left is not measurable, you know, with the vernier caliper. So it will not stand out when I do primer. I did do primer already on the, sorry about that, the interior. And because this is still using an incandescent bulb, it's not going to be really bright. That's why the interior was this weird yellow color. But I'm gonna go ahead and paint a wood color floor. I don't have a whole lot of color, and frankly, I don't really care too much about the interior. But, you know, I'm gonna do wood floor, green upholstered seat cushions, wood, honey, or like a walnut, mahogany, perhaps, color, sides and back. Paint that back to black, and we'll call it a day. Maybe we need to get some miniature packages, mail parcels, maybe even a horse, I don't know, or a Sasquatch. My railroad's going to be fun. So that's interesting. Okay. Yeah. So and then after that, then I'm gonna, you know, how about I go ahead and prime this? Then I'll start painting this. When I'm partway through this, I'll let you see how it's coming. Be back in just a little bit. All right. Take care, guys. Okay. So I think I'm happy with this. Clearly are some imperfections, but it's not going to be noticeable, especially with a darker interior. Leather green seat. These are obviously not period seats either. This side isn't going to show anyway, but just from a glance through the window, you'll be able to see some wooden seats And then this side of this is got a partition, and then this part here is where the combine has the larger door for the opening. So okay, I think I'm going to move on now to the car interior. You know, I should actually do the exterior first, because I might do that with spray paint if I have some good paint. I'll have to check and see, and take it from there. Okay, so let me see if we get back out here. This is the car body, all primed, ready to go. And you know, my original thought was to hand paint it, but seeing how that turned out, not going to be my first choice here. So, and I saw it in my head the moment I looked at that car before I thought about doing this project, was just this kind of color. Now it looks like a flat brown, but they call it a flat red. And it's just so weird because that's exactly the color that I was thinking of. And I know it doesn't sound that great, that exciting, but this is not the Denver and Rio Grande, okay? This is just some small short line railroad between Colorado and Utah. And, you know, like I visited a museum recently of the Utah Railway. Interesting history and what they kind of had to do with the equipment they just had available. Was not a luxury railway. And so I don't know, I just kind of saw this, and then even the name of the railroad, I might just call it North Fork something or other. Might just be in basic stencil letters along the side of this car, right? So all right, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. These two are going to get married, and I'll be back in just a sec. Okay, one other little thought here is the interior roofs tend to be a lighter color, maybe an off-white. And the easiest I have is this unbleached titanium, and I think that would be fine, because you know, some might even say it's not worth painting the interior of the roof because you're not going to be able to see it. But don't forget, we have this 6 to 12 volt incandescent bulb illuminating the cab of the combine car. That's why I painted that darker, albeit darker. But if I illuminate this, not illuminated, but if I paint it this unbleached titanium, I think it just might diffuse that light a bit. And take a look at the car body. I think that this is the tab that, yeah, that holds the roof on. So I might get a little bit on this rim here, and then all of this, of course. Now, now the other thought, though, now I do have that spray paint, but this is green. I may have to do that by hand. I don't really want to do that. Or I can tape this, and then tape this, and then put tape along here, and spray paint this. I mean, obviously the modelers who built this did this, because look, there is spray, and they use an airbrush too, which I don't have. Don't need, but maybe I'll get there one of these days. I might have to do that by hand up there, because I don't think if I left it green it would look that good. But interesting thought there. So, okay, well, I'll just start just farting away with this. Okay, I'm really excited about how this came out. I can't wait to show you. Now, I don't know how it is on my phone, but in real life, it really has a bit of that iron oxide color to it. And it's just, I know it sounds weird, but it's a brown that pops. And look at that. I mean, there's obviously some scuff on it, but I mean, this is a rail car that's been in service for 20 years. Look how nice that came out. And yeah, I can't even tell that anything was there. Been in service for 20 years, and a little bit of paint and all that stuff just kind of goes a long way. I'm trying to show you the side here. Get that to focus. Yeah. And boy, it just looks even better in person. Wow, I'm really happy about that. Now, the interior is supposed to be a mahogany walnut kind of color. You know what? I'm glad I did the inside because I think it suffices. You know, I don't know if I can. I mean, these are dry, so I'm not going to screw anything up. But you know, I still have to put the windows back in. But well, maybe I should still paint a wood-like interior. But I don't know, add the windows, you may not be able to tell the difference. Like this though, you can tell it's the same color inside. And I don't know, I might paint the inside that brown mahogany or walnut kind of interior. If I can do it without getting paint over the edges of the window. And yeah, how about we add some window shades, you know, in these here and there. I think it's going to turn out really nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, and then another thing. I said the vestibules need to be wood, so I have this brown undercoat. You know, I might even put a darker brown on that, and then touch it up with a light instead. What do you think? I think if I touch it up with the brown on top, the darker brown, it might still pop as a, not pop, but look like a natural wood. You know, and then follow up with a lighter brown to show where the wood has been worn by boots. I am, yep, sorry, but I'm going to paint this black because this stuff has been, you know, well worn time after time after time after time, and it's going to be just repainted black. You know, that's just how the railroads did it then. And so letting this dry for now, and then we'll go back to it, touch it over, touch up the vestibules a bit. Okay, that's it for now.